Good morning, everyone. This is Miss T. I hope everyone has had a happy holiday, however you celebrate it. Hope your families are doing well, you included, and everything is going good with you. Today, what I'm going to talk about, um, I feel it's time to move into a different direction. It's still based on God, always, but I want to show how how you can how people can relate to what I'm saying, and how if you don't follow God, read the Bible, study, um, how sin gets into your life, it intertwines into your life, and everybody's affected. Um, so we're just going to touch base on things that go on in people's everyday life. What I'm going to start with today is um, committing adultery. I know some people say in the Bible that it says you can have more than one wife, but that's not true. You'll say Solomon had many wives. Yes, he did. Um, but the fact of the matter is, the Bible is put together with all different types of. There's stories in the Bible. There's lessons in the Bible. Psalms will give you spiritual uplifting. Revelations is going to tell you what's going to happen close to the end. Genesis told you what God did and how this world became. So man will, like I said, and they will take the Bible and switch it up to make it um, fit their agenda. So what man wouldn't want to say it's okay to have as many wives as you want? Um, that's a dream for a man. Not all men, not not saying all men. All men are not the same. Um, but anyways, so since the world doesn't agree that you can have more than one wife, men just have mistresses. I guess that's what they're called, or women have side dudes or whatever. So what happens is no one wins in this situation. If you have chosen someone to be your spouse, if you have decided that you're going to give your life, your soul to somebody, that's a commitment. And under God, that commitment cannot be broken. Um, it cannot be tampered with. So, if you got married young, that usually happens when men get a little bit older. But I'm going to say not in this day and age. It's just rampant. So it really doesn't have to do with age. It's just opportunity or lust or whatever. But if you decided to get married to this person because you love them and you wanted to spend the rest of your life with them, then you should be able to be willing to talk about things that are going on in the relationship that is not, up to par or what you feel, and try to work it out. Going to just go and find someone to be on the side is never going to have a good outcome ever. There's too many stories about man unalives wife because she was cheating, woman unalives side chick, just all kinds of things. So that one sin, that adultery, added on more sins. You're it just trickles down. But people see it as long as I'm taking care of home, or as long as my wife and kids have a roof over their head, and or it could be my husband did it to me, I'm going to do it to him, revenge, which is another, just adding on more sin. And then it could get, really, really bad. And the ending result would be someone losing their life. So this is my suggestion for people who are just now dating, because those who have been in the game forever, they're going to do what they want to do. They're going to continue to, that's how they lived, and that's how they're going to stay. But I take that back. God can change them. But I am really I'm talking to everyone. But those who are decided, you've graduated, you're in college, and ready to get a degree, and this goes for women too. Because I don't want men to think that I just bash men, because I don't. I don't bash men. I don't bash women. I just try to bring a message that people can understand, and it's going to be equal. I get comments about why do I say good things about men? Men are this and that and that and this. And I don't even answer back. I just give them a heart, because some people don't understand. When you are trying to live right, do God's will, there's no separation. There's no women's lib, power to the people. I see people as a whole. There's good people, there's bad people. And that's just the bottom line. I know there's good men, there's good women, there's bad men, and there's bad women. So that's just all I focus on. It doesn't have anything to do with, I'm just not here to bash men. This is about the world, and how the world has caused all of this, and what's going to happen in the end, and how you need to change your life and get your life right before the end comes. So back to the adultery. So you're married, and you have your wife and your kids at home, and things aren't going great. Maybe she's not, sometimes the spark wears off. Women have kids and get a little bit heavier. Women are aging, men are aging. They might get stomachs, and unfortunately, if they do, they can't do sit-ups to get rid of it. So it psychologically plays a game on you, in your mind. Like, everybody wants to be desired or loved or wanted, and when they don't feel that way, say you're at home and your wife is not doing the things that she used to do, or you don't feel she's doing the things she used to do, when you're outside and a woman smiles at you or comes up to you and says something, in that second you have a decision to make. And it doesn't have, because you can have a ring on your finger, that doesn't make or break nothing. Not at all. So you have a decision to make. Are you going to fall into this spiral that's going to happen, or are you going to take a look at your life and decide maybe I should go home and talk to my wife? There are women out there who don't want a man, they just want somebody else's, and then they can send them home when they're tired. Some women just want you to pay their bills, and so they can do whatever they want with their money. They don't have to be the wife. They don't have to do your laundry, cook food if she doesn't want to. She doesn't have to do she doesn't have to do any of the work, but she's getting all the benefits. Because if she's playing this game that some women do, and I'm just going to be transparent, I don't know anybody particular who, I'm not talking about anyone, I'm just talking, that some women feel that if they can sexually satisfy a man, like over, like where he's never gone before, or never whatever, then they feel like, I'm going to get what I can get out of him. And maybe it will be for a long time, or maybe it will be until she meets the next married man who has more money than you. Meanwhile, your wife is at home taking care of the kids in the house, but she's suspicious. All women know. If they don't know, it's because they don't want to know. Some women are the type that don't go looking for something, because you might find it. And some women want to know, because how dare you, after all these years I've been sitting with you, stuck with you, or however she's going to feel, when I got with you, didn't have a job or whatever. You know how women talk, and they want to know so they can act accordingly. But I'm focusing more on men, because statistically more men do the cheating. You can debate that, all somebody can debate that, but men are they like to see pleasant or pretty things, or they like to shiny toys. That's why if you have a man who just loves his car, and you can't, he has to wash it every day, and nobody can touch it, and you can't park it in, and you can't drive it. They like things that it's like toys for men. But men don't really think on their feet. If you could just take that 1 minute if it could just rewind, like in the movies, rewind or go forward to what would happen to you, and think about it. So I mess with this girl or this woman. Now I have to lie, hide, sneak, possibly get found out, and who knows what will happen then. If your mind is in the right place, you can make that decision. Of course, everybody likes to be attracted to the opposite sex, but if you're married, you already made that. You already found the person you thought was your soulmate, or that you wanted to spend the rest of your life with. And so you don't get to do-overs. You don't get to add anything into the atmosphere, into your life, just because there's a little you're having arguments about little stuff like bills, uh, toothpaste cap, leaving the toilet. Just because when you're not feeling wanted or you're not feeling special or whatever, little things will make you upset. You'll find little things to make you upset. So personally, I would think that if your home is not centered around God, you're going to have a lot more problems than most. But if you really love your wife or husband, you would think about what this would do to them. If you're really that bad and you feel that bad in your relationship, get out of it. If you know that you're a man who likes, just loves women, don't get in a relationship. Just be a player or whatever. Why take somebody's feelings on their life and turn it upside down because of your selfishness? Because you want your cake and eat it too. You want a stable home. You want to be able to come home to dinner and your house cleaned and your laundry done and whatever. And then you want to go out in the street and have fun, and maybe this woman or this man does things that your spouse doesn't do, and so for that moment you feel you feel great, or you feel happy, or you feel a euphoria, just anything. But what it really is lust and sin. That's what it boils down to. So you don't think about what would happen if you would go ahead and do this. You just see a pretty girl, you see a nice man, you decided, I'm going to risk everything and I'm going to have an affair with this person. I'm going to cheat on my spouse, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, with this person, and let's see how it goes. Because I'm pretty sure that people don't get into relationships on the side because they want to marry that person. Not at first. I think it's just all. Some people like to live dangerously, and that's just some people like excitement. It's exciting hiding and having to sneak and save people's phone numbers as women's names or men's names. Some people enjoy that, but for the most part, you just really want someplace to be where you're not expected to have, you're not responsible for anything. You're not a dad, you're not a husband. You just get to be in a fantasy place, so there, you've gotten a relationship. You didn't take the moment to think it all out, and you've decided to go ahead and throw caution to the wind. So you get in this relationship. It's been going on for a while, and you think your wife doesn't know. Men can't hide really what they do. They give themselves away. I will say women can hide it better than men. But as a man, you're just, you just want that release, I guess, away from home. So you get into this relationship, and then you start to have feelings for this person that is not your spouse. But remind you, this person is not married. They don't have any commitment to anyone. So when you're not around, they can do whatever they want. They can see whoever they want to see. Because you can't say, well, you can say, I don't want you seeing someone else, because you're married, you have a family. You can't put down ultimatums or rules. And so the person, I'll see you when I see you. My water bill is due. My car note is due. I want to go on a girls' trip. I need a new And so your feelings are involved. Maybe hers aren't, or his aren't. And so when you go back home, you start to resent or look at your wife like she's the enemy, like she's done something wrong to you. And so in your head, you make up reasons why it's okay to do what you're doing. If you hadn't stopped, you don't have sex with me enough, you don't compliment me, I'm tired of arguing, when I get home from work, I don't want to hear, just whatever they would like to say, because they know what they're doing is wrong, but they're trying to find, I'm losing my voice, they're trying to find an excuse of why they should be able to do it. So this is going on for a while, and your wife finds out, your husband finds out. Now, depending on the person that you've married, there could be plenty of scenarios to the situation. Your wife could find out, and she could say, I want a divorce. You can go have her. I'm taking the kids, or I'm leaving the kids. I don't know. But it's more or less, she's not irate about it. She's not having a, causing a scene or causing problems. She just, you did something to her, you went against your vows, and she wants out. Your wife finds out, and now she's out for revenge. She's going to find this woman. She's going to harass her. She's going to try to get her fired. She's going to find out if she has other. She's just going to do all kinds of things. And I wouldn't say that I would blame this woman. I don't believe in violence or vengeance or any of that. But when you're hurt and you're you feel that you've given everything to somebody and they do this to you, you're not thinking rationally. You're really thinking, she enticed him and that's why he did it. Well, she is not the cause of the issue. Your husband is. Yes, once that man said, well, I'm married, or maybe he might not have even told her he was married. It's your husband's decision to do what he did. And they just seem to, get off scot-free. Either the wife finds out and she harasses the woman, and then the woman harasses her, and then they get on social media and say blah, 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 back and forth, and then they decide that we're going to fight it out. Meanwhile, he's looking like he has it going on. He has two women that want him and two women that are fighting over him. Or, because it goes a little bit differently when it's the woman cheating. She is at a higher risk of being dealt with differently. A man's ego, a man's character will not allow somebody to step on it, to make them look anything less of a man, because they're in the first thing they're thinking is, you've been doing this and I've been working, and people probably know. They start looking at your family, they knew, And did you have them around my kid? Just all kinds of thoughts go through their head, and it's dangerous. Um, there's scenarios where the man he takes her out, unalives her, unalives the boyfriend, unalives himself. Um, some just unalive her, or the both. It doesn't end well. And is it really worth the pressure, the issue? Is it really worth, if you are that unhappy in your marriage, even though that's not a rule that you can get a divorce, but since you're not following God's law anyway, divorce her and move on. I don't understand I do understand, but you know it's not going to end well, and you know the consequences, you know what possibly could happen. It will affect your children because, with all the I remember one time my friend thought her husband was cheating. Well, she didn't thought, she's caught him a couple of times, but anyways, she found out on this occasion who the woman was, and she wanted me to go with her to confront this woman. Now, first of all, I don't have anything to do with the situation, and I advise you not to go to her house. Anything can happen. She could say you try to assault her, she could take you out, and she gets self-defense, and then she has her husband anyway. You need to deal with him. I don't understand the big we're blaming the other person and not the one who is really to blame. Is this person hurt you? She's probably on the side, and depending on how long this has been going on, he might be cheating on both of you with somebody else. So it's just a terrible thing. It's not right. It's not what God intended. If you love the person that you love, continue to do the things that you did when you first met. Women, I know sometimes we get tired, especially when you have a few kids and you're working too. You get a little tired and may get laxed in the things that you used to do. Make time for your husband. Y'all can go out on dates, or give him special attention, or little notes in his whatever, in his lunchbox, whatever, or put on lingerie and whatever to spice up. Men, compliment your wife. Tell her she's beautiful. Thank her. I'm a thank you day for my wife, because she takes good care of my kids, and she keeps the house together, and she allows me to have peace. Women, everything is not an argument. Little simple things, just really don't matter. You don't have to find things to jump on him about. Men, sports is not your I don't care if it's just a season or however long it is. It's not the time to push her away or make her feel less important, or she's just there to feed your buddies and keep the beers coming. You have to work hard every day. You have to be willing to work hard to keep things going. Nobody said once you said I do that it's going to be butterflies, unicorns, rainbows, you're going to have issues. But do you think going out and meeting this other woman that you won't have issues with her? Say she just falls in love with you, or she wants you, and then she starts harassing your wife. Maybe you told this woman, look, I'm never leaving my wife, I'm just, whatever, and she gets upset because her plans were to take you, and that's what she wanted to do. So now she's harassing, and she done told your wife who did not deserve, who might have been oblivious to everything, is now being drawn in and harassed, on top of feeling hurt and betrayed. She has to deal with a crazed woman over her husband. And now you have to be in between, trying to separate the two in the situation that you caused. You could go out and cheat and get your mistress pregnant. Then there's a whole new set of problems. You could go out and cheat and get pregnant by the guy you're seeing on the side. So now you don't really know who your child is by, and your husband is oblivious. So he wouldn't think to question you on the paternity of y'all's child, because he wouldn't, that wouldn't be something, unless he just knows what, that you're capable of doing whatever. But if he's just, thinking everything's fine, he wouldn't have a reason to question. And some women, unfortunately, will be deceitful and allow someone to take care of a child that's not theirs. And then that causes hurt problems, causes more hurt, because you've been raising your child since he was born or she was born, and they're now 13, and for whatever reason blood was taken and you found out that was not your child. There was a story in the news a while back that happened, and it wasn't not just one. All three of this man's children were not his. So what he did, and I need to go and check up on the story, he went to his wife's job and shot her 10 times. I can't remember if I'm gonna have to go back and look and see what was the outcome, because I don't think it said she passed away when it happened, but I'm not sure what happened afterwards. So, these things do not end well. You're asking for trouble and consequences. Now, out of all those things that I said that could happen, which are bad, the one that I think would be the worst, the worst, would be your innocent spouse is at home, keeping their vows, doing what they're supposed to do, not really knowing that there's a problem. We bicker, and he goes out, but he's still home, at night or whatever. She goes whatever, but she comes home and we're together. And then your spouse is starting to get sick. They don't know if it's flu or, because remember, you don't control the other person. The side piece, you don't control them. You can't tell them what to do. They can do what they want and see whomever they want. You don't know how they're maintaining other people or what the actions are. So you in your mind, you've been dating for a while, and so just like everybody else, we don't have to use protection. And so, like I said, your spouse is getting sick, and they go to the doctor, and the doctor, she tells them that they want to run a bunch of tests and see what's going on. And then they get the news that they have a disease that can possibly unalive them, and anyway just cause havoc in their life. First of all, to find out that your significant other was putting your life in jeopardy and has put your life in jeopardy, you had to find out all that at once. You're dealing with all that at once. And the emotional toll that has to take on somebody, I could not even imagine. I mean, at that point, all the things that's going in through their head, they're not rational at all. And the first thing they're thinking is they have a death sentence that you caused. And so they don't want to live that way. And so they snap, and everybody, it just does not end well. I don't like drama. I don't indulge in messing. First of all, I don't, that's whatever. But married men are not attractive to me. I mean, what I'm saying is, if you're married and you're trying to pick up someone else, I feel offended. Don't talk to me, because first of all, who are you think I am? Or, and plus, I've been married, but my husband passed away. I may choose to marry again. I would have, if I did all those things and betrayed other women, why would I get, when I got the same treatment or the same, how could I blame anyone? You did it. So you just can't go around in life making up your own rules, living by the sword, following the crowd, because some men, especially if you're just dating women, if they want you to do what they're doing, they like to tempt you and tell you stories or tell you you're weak because you don't want to cheat on your girlfriend, or you want to spend time with her all the time and you actually love her. If you're not weak-minded, those things won't, affect you. Because really, people who do stuff like, they're unhappy. They're looking for something to give them a thrill or something to uplift them or to make them happy. And they're looking materialistically. I don't know where it has changed that women are giving men money, buying them things. I guess this makes them feel that they're important. Like he wouldn't want to leave me because he needs me, or I'm a good catch, or I can do this for him, or I can. But what is it doing to you that you have no self-worth, that you think that the only way you can keep a man is by giving him money? Now, I'm really talking about dating. Now, when you're husband and wife, that's a different story, and that's totally different. I'm talking about you just dating, and you're just constantly, you know, taking care of everything. He may stay with you a couple of nights, but they'll play it slick because they really don't want you to think that you're actually in a committed relationship. Just in case they can find, because they're always looking to upgrade. And I've actually heard that out of a man's mouth. That they'll just give you enough to keep, you satisfied. We go out and they take you to the movies or spend time with you or tell you how beautiful you are, tell them they love you, all that good stuff, just to keep you where they need to have you. Meanwhile, there's other women who are doing the same thing. This is a true story. My friend, at the time, she was my friend, was dating a guy who had so many women. I couldn't even, I wanted to ask him, really, how does he do it? There's only so much time in the day. He was seeing my friend. He lived with his girlfriend. They had kids. He was seeing my friend, and the other girl that I know about I'm not saying no names, but the reason she came to my friend, approached my friend, because she was telling her, coming to see why his car was parked in her driveway. But what she didn't know is that it was my friend's car that he was driving. Yeah, so that means she was in the car. And so, but they would find out and really just not, they wouldn't blame him. They would all argue amongst themselves. It was ridiculous. It was sick and twisted. And I didn't say a word, because you can't tell a grown person anything or what to do or how to live their life. They're going to do what they want. I just figured when she gets tired or whatever, this is how the story ended. He had a good friend of his that had got shot now, and he was put into a wheelchair. And so he used to go pick him up and get him outside so he can, hang out. He would take him to the club and all that. And he, So the guy that got shot, who's now in the wheelchair, found out that his friend, was messing with his girlfriend. Because for some reason, all women are on limits. There's no boundaries. You're showing this man that you care about him, you're acting like you care about him, and, taking time up with him, but you're going behind his back with his woman. Anyhow, who one night, I believe it was Thanksgiving or the day before Thanksgiving, I can't remember what year it was. It was a long time ago, I know. But he took this guy that he takes out, would take him out in his wheelchair. Well, at the end of the night, he was taking the guy home, and the guy was in the back seat because there was another guy with him in the front seat. And the guy with the wheelchair took out a gun and unalived him right then and there. They found him with his foot on the brake. No, his foot on the, he must have put it in park, but his foot was on the gas, and he was, unalived. That man had to think that out. That was a plan, and to take it to another level. He partied the whole night with him, knowing what he planned to do to him later on. Diabolical. That's another type of evil. But in his mind, you know, there's some people that just feel like you don't there's certain things that you just don't do. That's what they feel in their head. And messing with your friend's girl, or messing with your friend's wife, or messing with your friend's husband, those things are just unspoken rules that you don't break. That's how some people feel. And if you do that, they are devastated. I treated you as family. I stood by your side in certain situations, and this is what you do to me. So he was caught the day, they, found him, and now he's in prison. Um, and he has a lot of time to think about what he could have done, what he should have done, because that was not the answer. But because of sin, people they're not in their right mind. People sometimes snap. People sometimes don't have that ability to stop and think. Some people don't, love themselves. They love someone else more than they love themselves. Because he would have thought, what he should have thought about is, I'm in a wheelchair. How am I going to maneuver in prison? How's it? I'm already vulnerable there. I'm not going to take my freedom, and go and have to struggle. And when I'm in there, she's gonna find somebody else. Those were the thoughts that should have been in his head. He could have just told him, man, I'm not, don't pick me up. We're not friends. But anyway, so at the end of his life, what happened was, he went out as how he lived. He had every single girlfriend and baby mama at his funeral. I don't think my friend went. I wasn't going to go with her. Yeah. So sin just really doesn't make any sense. I say that over and over and over again. It doesn't make any kind of sense. You're not thinking. Your mind is different. It takes on a different reasoning. And you can't play with people's minds. That's a lot of the issue. People treat people however they want to. People do things to people however they feel like. There was a man, they were, what are the trains? I don't know what they're called, because we don't ride trains here. But the trains, you underground, whatever. He seen this young girl, and he decided, now he was a big guy, he decided that he wanted to take her out in broad daylight in front of everybody. So he's dragging this girl, and she's screaming, and fortunately there were men there who stepped in. Sometimes people think, oh, that's his girlfriend, I'm not getting involved, but she was screaming bloody murder, and this man was just picked her up, and I don't know where he thought he was gonna put her, but they intervened and they got her away from him. But the evil part was, he wasn't even focused on the. Now they're pushing him, they're pulling her, they got her away from him. He's not even focused on this group of men who are, getting ready to attack him. He's still lunging and running after the girl, trying to run after the girl. He couldn't have been thinking, what did you think you was going to do? Even if they were not going to let you have her. So what was I don't know, I shudder to think what his intentions were. But he wasn't in his right mind. He couldn't have been thinking. First of all, you can't just go and decide that this person is going with you against their will uh, in broad daylight in front of everyone, and you're going to have to, if you want to transport her, you're going to have to take her on this train full of everyone while she's screaming bloody murder. So no, he was not thinking. I, who knows what his plans were, but the evil that surrounds us is because I'm sure that girl did not think today that I'm going to be attacked and someone's going to attempt to kidnap me. Um, she didn't wake up thinking that. We don't wake up and think something's going to happen and something to me. We thank God for waking us up, and we, pray through the day, pray at night, but you don't really know what your future holds. You don't know what's going to happen. So why do people add extra to make sure that their future isn't bright? If you cheat on somebody, there are a lot of things that can come on about that are not good at all. If you abuse your wife, your girlfriend, women, there is nothing good that's going to come out of that. Um, some women, I had a friend, I know I say friends all the time, but I've listened to a lot of stories, and but she her boyfriend used to beat her up, and one time he beat her up, and she ran to my house, and she just ran right past me. I opened the door and she ran right past me, and I didn't know what was going on, so I was getting ready to shut the door, and then he showed up like minutes later asking me for her, and I said she wasn't there. Now he knows she was there. He just seen her run into the house. What he could have done was push my door open and took us both out. I didn't know. But he didn't, and I shut the door. I went to go see what was happening and why she was here or what was going on. And she was hiding under all of my clothes in the closet, my dirty clothes in the closet. But then in the same breath that she was telling me that if a man doesn't hit you, he doesn't love you. And I immediately told her that I don't want to be loved. She's still here on earth, but there's a lot of women who are not. And the reason that they're not is because sometimes we as women think we can change somebody. We feel guilty because men, some men you feel had a tough bringing up a childhood, that if they didn't have their fathers, it just seems like it's different. Women can endure hardship a little bit better than men. It just seems that way. I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying it just seems that you can take a child, a boy and a girl, put them in the same environment, and the girl can grow up and become whatever, doctor, lawyer, or whatever, and the man is just making it or just living. So we take on this, we feel sorry. He tells us a story, and he never wants to hurt you. He loves you, but sometimes he's afraid of losing you, and so he snaps and he won't never do it again, and he's sorry, and you stay because you believe him. And then after the 10th time, you decide that you don't want to go through this anymore. And instead of letting you go, he unalives the both of you because he decided that you belong to him, and he's not going to live without you. No one else is going to be with you. And so those are the decisions that he made for your life. You didn't get a chance to fulfill whatever you wanted to do. He made that choice for you. So if we want to rewind some of the ridiculous, it's just, I don't know what to call it, some of the Sodom and Gomorrah activity that's going on, because nothing's new under the sun. Love yourself. You have to love yourself first before you can love anyone. That is the main thing. And women, if you don't love yourself, you're not going to love anything. Some women don't even love their babies, and that's evident because they unalive them. Some women, will choose to go through and be treated the way they are because they don't feel like they deserve anything better. But God made us all the same. He loves everyone the same, because he said he does not hate the sinner, he hates the sin. And he can forgive anyone who is asking for forgiveness, who just wants to have a better life, wants to change your life, wants to feel better for once, wants to, wake up in the morning and have a reason to wake up. He will give you that reason. Sometimes he has to remove you from people, or he has to remove people from you in order for that to happen. Because I believe during your journey, your walk, you have to be focused and have nothing, in your ear or causing, issues while you're trying to get it together. So he removes people, and it's not, you'll know the difference between the two. Like, you're not really lonely. You might have lost, your friends, and some family members, but it was for the better. And then once you get on that path, and then you really look back and you see he did that for the good. That was for you to be able to hear him talking to you, letting you know you're worthy, letting you know you're just as good as anybody else, letting you know that you don't deserve this kind of treatment, or you don't have to. He loves you. He doesn't want any harm to come to you. He doesn't want you to suffer or anything. I just pray that I sometimes I don't know what to pray, because we know the Bible says that this world is going to get worse closer to the end of time. And if it gets worse, I hope I don't know, but I don't want to be here to see what is worse than what is actually going on right now. I don't want to see it. I don't want to be around it. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to see it. I don't want it to happen to me or anybody anybody. Any family members, friends, strangers. But if you read and you study and you come to God, he will tell you ways that you can live in this world and not have to worry or put yourself in harm's way, or put yourself in situations that you shouldn't be in, or he'll remove people that you don't even see that are a danger to you, or that are a danger to you, but you just for some reason won't let go. Um, I just hear so many stories, and when I hear something about a young lady being unalive for whatever reason, it always starts with they, you know, they're dating this person, and the man just can't handle the relationship. You can't. He doesn't love himself, because you can't feel that this person, you can't live without this person, that you're nothing without this person. So this person can't, they just, what is it, crash out, throw it all away, just have no kind of, just no compassion, no, because you can be with a man, you can be dating him, and having sex with him doesn't mean he loves you. Men can have sex with women they don't even like, and I've said that before. Or women that that's a true statement. So not compromising yourself. Love yourself first. Love God first, and then love yourself, and He'll love you. He'll pour into you what you need to survive in this world, this evil world. When your mind is clear and you can think straight, you don't accept a lot of, you don't accept anything. You're not going to accept what you may have accepted before, because you're walking in a new light, and you understand that we are not here to fulfill anyone else's dreams or life. We're here to fulfill ours, and our dream is to go to heaven. Anything that interferes with that has to leave. You have to let go. We have it bad enough that we have to work every day and try to do right. Do you want to lose your salvation because of someone else? That would be a tragedy. That would be, I don't know, you're only, basically, you're really only in control of you. God's not going to take a whole family and judge them. He's going to take you singular, and ask you what you've done. He doesn't care that you've done it because somebody else told you, or they made you do it. He doesn't. He said, what have you done? And you'll have to answer for that. So today I just want people to think about some of the situations that they're in, some relationships that they're in, some things that they may be doing that may be against the law. Sit and think. You probably haven't thought about it really, and see if you can weigh it. It's more important than your salvation, or your freedom, or your life, or your reputation, or your kids, or whatever it is. And if you can't find a reason that it's a good idea to do, then don't do it. Don't do things when you're under the influence. People make bad decisions when they're intoxicated or high or whatever. I don't know. I think maybe more intoxicated than high. You make bad decisions because you're not in your right mind. So we are basically walking around soberly drunk. We're not in our right minds. And if we don't allow God to come into it, our heads, our minds, our body, our everything, we're going to fall victim to sin and the devil and his soldiers. That's all I had for today. I will pick a topic for next week to talk about. You can see how just everyday life is just can be sinful. And I pray that everyone stays safe.